Morning, everybody. Happy February. It is officially Love the Bus Month. The observed week for that is the week of the 13th, so next week is usually the observed week of Love the Bus Month. We're trying to do Tuesday, February 10th. Everybody wears something yellow. School bus yellow, or as close as you can get.
Is this made up or is this your thing?
The Love the Bus Month is an actual thing. It is National Love the Bus Month. It is. I did not make this up. I can't come up with that stuff. We have gone 90 days with no accidents so far. So kudos. In the news, if you guys saw back in the very beginning of the year, might have actually been the end of December, there was a bus accident in Manhattan, Moni, Illinois. They still haven't said exactly what happened other than a head-on collision. No students or drivers they were just minor injuries, but the driver of the other vehicle was killed on impact. It destroyed the whole front end of the bus. It was a very high-speed front-end collision.
But is there whose fault?
They have not specified whose fault or how the head-on collision even occurred yet. Important dates for March are out. Remember that this month, February 16th, is President's Day. It's a paid holiday. Nobody drives that day, unless it is for a field trip. The 27th is the Kane County Institute Day, so we have no school that day. That is the day after our early dismissal. So if you guys had not heard yet, which if you use Advocate as your regular doctor, you may have already heard, the Aurora and Batavia locations are no longer doing occupational health, which means we cannot send you there for your physicals anymore. So we had to acquire a new location. So those of you that are due in March for your physicals, that's why you haven't received any paperwork yet, is because I had to go and figure out who the heck we were going to go to now. So we have a new location we're going to try out. St. Charles has been using them for a while. We're not the only district affected. There were several other districts all using Advocate, and so everybody's kind of trying different things, and we're all going to get together and see who likes what the best. But right now we're going to use Body Wellness Chiropractic in St. Charles. So if you are due in March or April, you'll probably be getting an email from me by the end of the day or tomorrow that your physical paperwork is ready. We're working on getting that all together.
Where's it located?
It's on Walnut Street in St. Charles, so it's near downtown, but it's on this side, it's on the west side of the river. I think so.
Will that be an appointment?
Yes, you would have to call and set up an appointment. As you guys probably noticed last week, we've had a lot of people out with illnesses. It is going around the district like crazy. Influenza A. They've had a couple of cases of whooping cough at the middle school. If you noticed, Kelly has a box of masks outside of her window. If you guys want them, they're not. A couple of people asked, are these required again? They're not required. They're just for you guys, if you guys want them, to help yourselves from getting sick from the kids. We have the district as a whole has tons of cases of these things, so we thought we'd put out a couple of boxes in case you guys wanted them. Let's see. Reminder for field trips, or if you were swapped into a spare bus because your bus is down, please, when you're done with it, sweep the bus, empty the garbage, and refuel it. We have lots of buses that are getting used for field trips, and people are coming into an already full garbage and a dirty bus, and people are not cleaning up after themselves. Along with that, I feel like I bring this one up a lot, but if I don't, it seems to become a habit again, is please don't pull up by the shop or the fuel pumps with your bus unless you are asked to. Reminder for pre-trip sheets, where you guys are putting them in their boxes Monday through Thursday, and on Friday, you put them in the black bin on the wall so that Kendall can log your guys' mileage. And that's all I've got. Any questions on anything?
When's the bus washing?
When's the bus washer open up? He gets here at 9 o'clock.
When's he gonna start washing?
He was washing stuff last week,
Cool.
but if you guys didn't notice, he was out driving on Friday too. So he started washing stuff Friday, but he's been trying to help us out with other stuff as well. So I know some of the buses didn't get washed for a little while, but he was trying to help us get caught up or covering routes.
How come, they're not gonna do the physical and all that? Any particular reason?
The reasoning we got from them is that they have a new location in Algonquin that they are trying to push people out to there. So that is the location they're suggesting everybody to go to, and I didn't think everybody wanted to drive all the way to Algonquin for their physical.
Don't know what that is.
So, yeah. Any other questions? All right, I'm gonna turn it over to Brandy then.
It's not working.
It's not working again?
Yep.
All right. I'll put in a detector here. Well, it's because he's on HDMI.
I didn't touch them last time.
It was working.
I wasn't me.
Yeah, probably has like a little HDMI box they plug in that does the Wi-Fi.
I suggest we get a better computer connection here.
It's not the computer, the box that's up there.
We get a better box.
You can bring it, it's okay. I'm gonna wire it. Then tell me I need to plug it back in. So I don't have the vibration of the train that's gone. Well, that's what he tells me every time. So, there goes my video.
Can you power that box off and then?
I did.
Matt, be safe. Be safe.
Don't jump.
Hey, don't forget you gotta cook for us.
Do as I say, not as I do. You guys have all told your kids that.
His backbone.
Are we your kids?
Sometimes it feels like that.
Okay.
There's no loose wires up here, Brandy.
Hey, well, you tell Chase that when he comes there.
I will.
Okay.
I did. I killed the power to it. The only thing you can do is shut the whole projector off. What it do?
We'll off the VCR.
VCR. Just no videos.
Hi. Did anybody hear about the student 5-year-old who was dragged in Maine. So the first thing I was supposed to show you is there was a 5-year-old kindergartner whose arm got caught inside the doors. So he was walking up to the bus. His 7-year-old half-brother got on the bus. The driver shut the door as he was still approaching the bus. He stuck his arm in as the doors were closing, and he was dragged 280 feet before his arm was dislodged, and then he was ran over. So I had a photo of, again, where the stop was and the length and everything else like that. But again, the driver had missed the look down to see if the student, but again, the student was walking, according to the story, the student was walking along the bus. The driver didn't see him, the door closed, and then yes, he was dragged 280 feet before he fell, and then he was ran over. Yikes. The next story that I also have, did have a video, sorry, but this one was a 6-year-old. 6-year-old, they were a block away from the school. I don't know why they were driving, he was a block away from the school, but he was getting off the bus at his stop, and then he was run over by the bus. So there were witnesses there. They weren't the ones who actually saw the exact thing, but they were there to help the student afterwards. Both students did die, but the bus ran over the kid because he didn't see that he was in front of the bus. Not to bring sad stories, but what we're talking about today is complacency. Does anybody know what complacency is? What is your definition of complacency?
Getting too comfortable in something.
Do you think you're always the same?
Okay, so we're overconfident. We're assuming nothing will change. And then our alertness is reduced due to routine. I'm not saying that, I don't know, I don't get the stories. I read the articles, I didn't get any stories about the driver. I don't know what was going on with the driver. I don't know if it was the driver's fault or if the student's fault, if he ran in front of the bus. I don't know any of those questions or answers. All I know is that it could be a complacency thing. He didn't check his mirrors, he didn't see the student on the side of the bus. I know that our drivers, I've watched video, I've talked to drivers, and again, I can watch the students physically running up behind the bus, blind spots. So again, the driver wouldn't see them, they wouldn't know this. That's a lack of education to the students about where they should or should not be. But something that we can do here is make sure that we are not falling into complacency. The last couple of weeks, we've had drivers missing bus stops. Drivers have come up to us and they told us, admitted to us, they've missed bus stops, they were just going. Or drivers who decide not to stop and they just keep on going. So again, what we need to work on is not falling into complacency. Man, I have it all scanned out today. Ruined my thing. I had a video. Let me see if you guys can listen to it. Did you steal my remote?
Still doing 1099s the hard way? E-file my forms makes tax season feel like a vacation. Print, mail, and e-file all in one place.
Did you guys even hear it?
I'm here today to talk to you about complacency. Our fleet is growing with 13 terminals throughout New Haven, Litchfield, and Upper Fairfield counties. We have over 600 school transportation vehicles on the road every day. More times than I care to count. I get calls from my managers. We just had another accident. Take a look at some of the statistics from the past 2 years. We really need to be well rested.
Say it again?
You might be working now.
Yes. But I am gonna skip her statistics. We don't care about hers. Because those are for her district, not ours. No, connect.
we have a Train the Trainers Day, when all of the trainers get together and we discuss current safety issues that affect us as drivers. The trainers are given a safety topic to discuss in a group, and we come up with some new training techniques and ideas. This year's topic was complacency. Complacency is an issue the drivers face every year. In our job, it's very easy to become complacent. As drivers, we do the same thing every day. Pickups, drop-offs, railroad crossings, our routes, and we drive the same roads. We become very familiar with our surroundings, almost to the point where we think our buses are on autopilot. In reality, our highest accident rates happen due to complacency. Here are some ideas that we've come up with as a group to help our drivers avoid complacency.
Dispatchers will be reading off our messages of the day, and they are: we need to stay alert. We need to keep our eyes moving at all times. We can't avoid a hazardous situation if we're not ready for it. Think about it. If you're at a school, you're letting off all your children, and the children run away from their moms. If we're not keeping our eyes moving, we're never going to know that they're running along the side of the bus. We need to check our mirrors. We need to be scanning our mirrors every 5 to 8 seconds. You need to know what's around your bus at all times. We need to be well rested. We need to get at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep every night. I know, easier said than done, but we really need to be well rested. It's very important for our job that we stay focused. Drowsy driving is just like drunk driving. Our reflexes are dulled and our vision is affected. We need to be rocking and rolling around our blind spots. It's very important that we move backward and forward in our seat to make sure that we can see all around our bus at all times. You never know what's going to be coming alongside your bus just as you're about to move in. When you're going to take a left-hand turn, right-hand turn, make sure you're rocking and rolling in your seat around the West Coast Motor just to make sure that you can see anything that may be in your way. We need to be looking ahead. We need to look ahead 12 to 15 seconds. We need to ask ourselves, what if? What if something came out on the road up ahead? If we're not looking ahead 12 to 15 seconds, we won't have time to stop our bus in time and avoid an accident. Distracted driving. We need to stay focused on our job from the time we get out of our car to the time we get back in our car at the end of the day. We should not be thinking about what's for dinner, the fight we had with our kids, or the laundry that needs to get done. We need to stay focused on our task at hand. Pre-trip. We need to make sure that we're pre-tripping our bus every morning and every afternoon. We need to make sure that everything is in proper working order. Something could be broken that you're going to miss if you're not doing a proper pre-trip. We would like to hang these signs around every location. On the gate as you leave the lot, on the office door, the bathroom door, wherever the drivers are most likely to see them.
The pre-trip inspection is a very important part of the safe operation of the vehicle. Some things that we have to check on a daily basis, we tend to forget to check or just feel that they're not important to check because they didn't change. But some things that we tend to forget to check are the gas cap or the fuel cap, making sure that the cap is on tight, the battery box, making sure the battery is secured, there's no corrosion, and the pin is actually in.
That happened last week with one of our buses. We called it over the radio, someone forgot to put on the cap. The next driver took the bus and did not realize it until they came back and I asked her about it.
And checking all the lug nuts on the wheels, making sure all the lug nuts are secured, tight, and not missing. The insurance card, making sure the insurance card is up to date, the registration is up to date, and there is an accident report kit. The safety triangles, making sure all 3 safety triangles are in the vehicle. Fire extinguisher, making sure the fire extinguisher is all secured, the pin is in, and it's in the green and charged. And all these items I just mentioned are very important in the safe operation of the vehicle. And also the emergency equipment such as the triangles and the fire extinguisher, we want those in any kind of emergency if one should occur.
So right ownership has triggered at each of them that say complaints. This should spark up questions to the drivers at the beginning of the shift and at the end of the day. Dispatchers, managers, and safety supervisors should ask you, what does this word complacency mean to you? It should be directly to the complacency poster located outside the office.
All buses will get a magnetic calendar that says stay focused. This will serve as a daily reminder for all of us to avoid getting complacent when we're actually on board our buses. Planning ahead and staying focused are important to what we do, and the calendar is a small and easy way to keep us thinking about this every day.
Sports Arts is a fun way to get everyone thinking about it. Both hands on the wheel, yeah. It's a fun way that even in our downtime.
Become comfortable with our daily routine, whether it's to be,
All right,
or what to think about. And that's why we put together this poster to explain it a little better. Complacency is when we become comfortable with our daily routine. Whether it's the beginning, the middle, or the end of the school year, we need to stay focused. Drivers need to stay alert. They need to check their mirrors every 5 to 8 seconds. They need to be well rested. Rock and roll in their seat, looking into the corners, and to avoid distractions. The poster is a quick daily reminder to stay on task.
As you head out on the road today and buckle up, think about all the great tips that you've heard today. Please don't be the next phone call that I get that you are a veteran driver that was complacent, or any driver that gets complacent. Have a safe trip.
Yeah. So, why are drivers vulnerable? Again, like she said in the video, we do the same routines daily. We got familiar stops, and then we were long accident free. Matt had mentioned that last time, that we haven't had an accident in a while. In the last couple of weeks, we had a driver that was backing. So complacency was brought to my attention by another driver. So you see complacency every day when you go out on the road, whether it be our own drivers or whether it be another district. The driver that came to me about complacency was actually about another district. So again, you see it everywhere. We just need to make sure us as a district are not falling into complacency, especially with backing. So again, like I mentioned a couple weeks ago, one of our own drivers was backing when we weren't supposed to and got into an accident. Okay, something also happened today. People are backing and hit somebody. So it's not just missing a stop or, you know, the news article I showed you about hitting a kid. It's about the little things also, and it's about accidents and backing. Like they mentioned in the video, so scanning your mirrors at all times, rolling through your stops. We should be making our full and complete stops. I know last Friday when I was driving, I made a turn, not realizing I did not look in front of me 12 seconds, and a car was coming around a curve pretty fast. So I missed that one. So I'll admit it, I made a mistake. I didn't look behind, forward, far enough ahead. Granted, I did turn it, I missed it and everything. Also cut off one of our own drivers. So again, I had my own mistakes. I did cut off one of our drivers. He waved at me. I apologize when I saw him here. But again, I'm not a veteran driver, but I can still make mistakes also, and I admit them when I made mistakes. So he just told me, he goes, "You've been whipping around on the roads." I'm like, "No, I'm not. Don't say that." I'm not whipping around. Just trying to get out of his way so he can continue his job. So, and then rushing danger zone checks. I made sure I was at one stop for too long because 12 kids got off the bus and I was only supposed to have 10. So I was making sure they were like scattered everywhere. So again, just making sure you're watching your danger zones and making sure that we are making sure that nobody is in front of us. We don't want to run anybody over. We don't want to running up on the side of the bus and getting stuck or anything like that. Some danger mindsets. You may think, I've never had a problem here. I know this stop. I know who comes, I know who doesn't. They're not going to be here. One of the drivers says that he pulled up to a cul-de-sac and it was like swarm of like animals just came out of their homes and just started rushing the bus. So again, that's a sub-driver. Somebody else has come in and they don't know this. So again, just because you know a stop doesn't mean that some students may have a bad day. They're running late. So again, just watching your mirrors. Like we mentioned, missed stops, stop arm violations. That's not our problem. That's the drivers, but and then serious injuries. Experience of is not again even veteran drivers. Again, like I said, backing, that was a veteran driver. I did not have an accident last week, so I was not that non-veteran driver who got into an accident, but I did make my own mistakes. So again, people have been doing this forever, and then somebody who just started doing this, we can all make mistakes, we just have to learn from them. Staying alert, making sure we're getting to work on time, making sure we're taking the time to pre-trip our bus properly, making sure you're leaving the lot on time. If there's something going on, making sure you're leaving yourself enough time to be able to leave. And if you're rushing your stops, that means there's a possibility that you're going to be making a mistake. Treat every stop as a new one. Mental checklist, making sure your personal stuff is left at the door, not brought into while you're driving. And then pause before moving. Don't forget those railroad crossings. No shortcuts. Even if you're running late, you'd rather you be late than make somebody unsafe. I teach the coaches over at the high school, and I tell them all the time, they're not drivers. They don't go through the CDL training. They don't do everything that we do here. But I tell them every time, just once you get behind that wheel, you're putting 14 kids at risk, because they have to do their own pre-trip under the hood, all that stuff, and they all look at me like, really? I gotta do that? Really, you do, because if you're gonna take 14 kids on the road, and it's to me your responsibility. I will not, if a child is injured, I don't want that on me. Not for my recklessness, not because I was rushing. So mental and physical readiness, make sure you get enough rest, hydration, and then you stay focused. For this scenario, if a student drops an object near your bus, what will you do?
Don't move.
Don't move. What else? Check your mirrors. Account for all your students, making sure that, the one thing I teach you in the AR refresher is to make sure you're scanning all your kids. You know exactly where they're going, what direction they're going, so that you know where they're at all times. If you're running late and you have a railroad crossing, you're going to change your behavior. Deal with it. So deal with it. I mean, you're going to run late, you're going to run late. You can't control this, the tracks. I mean, you can reroute, but. Key takeaways is complacency is preventable. Consistency saves lives. So, any questions on complacency? Anything that you do to help yourself not fall into complacency? You can share, I can keep going. Okay. So we're not done. Another news article. This one was with a bus aide and a driver. In Florida, there are 2 people who are being charged with child abuse to a 10-year-old student with autism. So the aide, I don't know who it was, the aide was charged with hitting the student with autism. And then the driver laughed about it. It was on camera. So a bystander had saw the incident and reported it, and then they started their investigation, and they have it on camera where the aide was hitting the students, and the driver just kind of laughed about it. I've seen this happen in a school where 2 teachers were picking on a little kid. In my situation, the student was a toddler, so not even 2 years old. And they thought it was funny, and they thought it was funny to pick on them because they were in a leg cast and they couldn't move. So it happens everywhere you go, whether it be in school, whether it be on the school bus. I worked, I told you this many times before. I worked in a school, in a therapeutic day school, and those kids go, you may have a rough day, but you don't know what they're going through, okay? So on a bus, you don't know what kind of day they had unless the teacher told you about it. So you need to understand that how they react to you, they don't have the mentality like you and I do, okay? Sometimes you gotta give them 1-step directions, sometimes they can handle 2-step directions. Sometimes they think what you're doing is funny because they don't understand. So, with this being in the news, something we have to remember is, we're gonna talk about de-escalation. When you're working with these students, tip number 1 is be empathetic and non-judgmental. Okay? Just because they're getting on your bus, they may come on your bus, they may be stemming, they may be upset, they may be screaming. There's a reason for it. That's how they're communicating with you. So if they have a device, use the device. If the staff member is still there, ask the staff member. If you're at the high school, they don't have to have a specific diagnosis. They could have, again, they could be coming off the bus and something had happened, okay? Whether it be a kid at school who's got no disability, they have no IEP, and they're being bullied at school and they don't know how to express themselves, they're gonna come on your bus and they may just react in certain ways. So, being empathetic and non-judgmental to these students, they don't know how your day is going, you don't know how their day is going, but we need to look at them with respect. Personal space, okay? If you see a student who is stemming, if you see a student rocking, if you see a student screaming, step away and give him his space. You can acknowledge and say, I see you're upset, I'm gonna give you a moment, let me know, okay? A sign that you could ask for is calm hands. So again, a student on a sped bus, you tell them calm hands, most of them should understand that calm hands just means that their hands are clasped together and they're on their lap. Okay? You could look at their body language, where you see the body kind of like the shoulders will fall down a little bit. They start to calm down, their body is not so tense. But again, it may take a few minutes, okay? If you're stuck at school and you need assistance, you can call the radio on the radio, we can call the school, we can have staff come out there. At the elementary school, I heard on Friday, somebody was asking for a teacher and some were helping and some were not. Again, we don't know what our drivers are experiencing on their bus, we're not on their bus. So us reacting in different ways, again, we just have to work as a team and kind of help each other as much as we can. But again, if a student is stemming and you're at a private placement school, you can call dispatch and we can call someone out there as soon as possible if they're not already out there, because not everybody has an aid.
Brandy,
Yeah.
on that, someone calling for
Huh?
to their bus,
Uh-huh.
looking for a teacher, they need to let us know if it's at the middle school, we
Mhm.
need to know north or south route, all that stuff. I mean,
That would be very
somebody
helpful.
says, I need a bus,
Right.
I'm in 24, I need somebody at 24. Who knows where 24 is sitting, you know?
I agree. So drivers, when you're at the middle school or at the high school, well, at high school you're on one area, but at the middle school, if you need a teacher, just call out. You need a teacher at South, you need a teacher at North. Just to kind of help all those other drivers so they know exactly who's helping who. Thank you. Use non-threatening nonverbals. Okay, so again, your tone is everything. If you're upset, you just kind of have to pull that back and just talk to them in a calm voice. Neutral words, nothing aggressive. They don't like the word no, so that would be an aggressive word. And I know it's very simple, just say no, but again, something that's calm hands, safe body. Again, let them know that you are, I understand you're upset, but I just need you to be safe before we can, before we can go home. I know you want to go see mom, but mom's waiting for you to be safe. Avoid overreacting, okay? You overreact, that's gonna set the student off even more, okay? You need to step back, you gotta step back, okay? That's why I say call base, get staff out there, and then let them take over, step in. I know it's easier when you have an aide, because then the aide can step back and the driver can come and step in. I know when you're at a therapeutic day school, you are never alone. So if I ever needed help, there was a team of at least 6 to 8 people there to help us. I actually had to get tapped out, so I overreacted one time. And I was face to face 6 inches from a student's, after she had spit in my face, and she had hit me. And we were 6 inches apart. If you're a police officer, you understand too. But I just froze at her as if it was somebody on the street, and I had actually a therapist come tap me out, and I walked away. I didn't react to anybody else in the room. They all stared at me as I walked away, went down the hall, went to the bathroom, and I had my meltdown. But I was by myself. But again, it happens. I was working there for almost a year. I should have never reacted that way. I got trained. I was in a different CPI training. I should have never reacted. But when you're in that situation for over a half hour with a student, things happen. But that's why you're with a team. So again, if you have an aide, your driver and you are a team, making sure that you guys work together as a team, because you don't know what escalation situation can happen. I know that dispatch can't get to you as fast as you can, but we can get on the phone, and those schools we have had it to where drivers will call out and a team of like 8 people will come out. We're running. If you call, we are coming running to your bus, and basically you step off and we take over your bus. We take over the bus in the sense that we make sure the kid who's not being safe is de-escalated and taken off. The driver and monitor don't have to take care of that. And that is just my experience working at a therapeutic day school. If you're a private placement and you have that kind of a situation, those teams there will help you. But you gotta make that effort to call the other staff to help you. Focus on feelings. Don't take anything personal. I mean, unless the kid really has it out for you, and they, basically the only thing is they know you hate them. If your students know you don't like them, they feel that, they know that, and then they won't respect you. And that's with any students. I mean, if they know you don't like them, they're gonna have to respect you. So if you want respect, that for them to respect you, you have to respect them. Don't have personal feelings, they're not your kids. I mean, you see them twice a day, I get it, most of the 10 months out of the year, but they're not your kids. Keep your personal feelings. I don't think it's ever directed towards you. Again, you don't know what they've been going through. Ignore challenging questions. One of our drivers, and it's not a question, it's more of an ask for them. A student went up to our driver and said, "Can I have your face?" He wanted to scan her face for adult permission to get an app. You never know what these kids are going to ask you. I mean, do I say it's a challenging question? I mean, it's a challenging question in the sense of how do I react to that? What do I do? Do I write it out? I mean, in all honesty, it's simple. I can't do that. Go ask your mom, which is what the driver did. But it's not a sense that you have to write it up. It wasn't an unsafe thing. The kid didn't know who you were. He's trying to see what he can get away with. And students like this will try anything possible to get away with anything. So as simple as, hey, give me your photo or give me your picture so I can scan. Setting your limits, that's another thing that can help out. Set your limits from day one. Set your limits, tell them as far as, again, let them know. If you stop the behavior right away, then they know how far they can go. Okay, they're not going to keep pushing you because they know that you're going to push back and you're going to say, no, it's done. Somebody approached me and says, at what point do I write a student up? When it's unsafe. If you have to push your bus over, that's an unsafe situation. Write the student up. Every time. It doesn't matter if they're on a sped bus or on a regular bus, every student should be written up if it becomes an unsafe environment. You're a moving vehicle, write them up. If the kids get in trouble, that's their own, they have a choice. They made a choice, and now there's repercussions. Write the kid up. Let the schools deal with it. So, I mean, some of them learn, some don't. So set your limits from day one. Choose wisely what you insist upon. Be flexible. I don't know if you want to negotiate with students who have special needs. Negotiating is more of something they can earn. So again, it's more that can work on the classroom capital students. Allow silence for reflection. Silence is good. Okay, silence is good for them. They can reflect on what's going on. They can have their own thoughts. It's not a bad thing for them to have time just to reflect. And also for you. I know that the situation that happened with me, we didn't speak for 24 hours. Usually 24 hours, they wait for a meeting, and then everybody who was there in the incident meets and discusses, and we work on what we could do best next time. We identify our mistakes, we identify what we could do next time, and we identify what we can help with the students next time. Now, granted, that situation never would have happened if the teacher wasn't afraid and allowed the students to run out of the classroom, but that's another story today. So again, always allow for silence and reflection before you make decisions. And then also allow time for decisions. When I say that is, sometimes students cannot process what you're saying right away. So I talk very fast, and that was very hard at the school to try to adjust. I talk very fast, I would expect expectations, I need to know what's going on right now, and so I had to learn that, to slow down and let the students process what I am asking them. So. Any questions on de-escalation and that video? And again, it's sad news all around the board. I didn't mean to make it a sad day, but those things need to be pointed out just so that we can help each other in the future. Any questions? Any comments? You guys just want me to be done for today? That was so nice of you. And you're also honest with me. Okay, no questions, anything? Okay. We're good? Oh, I was supposed to tell you guys, you have a town meeting today. You have a town meeting today? I guess that's why all the food is here. So you guys are supposed to stay afterwards if you want to discuss with your committee members about your agreement that's coming up. So, if you still have time, hey, I ended 20 minutes early. So therefore, now you have time to stay and listen to everybody else in your committee. See? Good idea. I stopped just for the committee. Okay. Huh?
I'll stay.
No, stay for the meeting. All right. Oh wait, come back. Oh, you're so close. So close, so close. I forgot something. You can go.
Chevy trucks are as dependable as the Chevy people who drive them. They don't need permission. They don't have
No, it's not a truck. Roush. This is the propane.
Is on location here at US 131 Motorsports Park in Michigan. We've got a quarter-mile drag strip at it.
Okay. So you guys always mention about diesel, propane. Well, I found this video. Roush is out of Detroit. And all our mechanics and Matt and all that went up there. But I just thought this was cool. And Matt said I could play it.
We've got a bunch of vehicles that we want to do an acceleration tester on. Tom, can you walk us through what vehicles we have today?
Sure, I'm going to be running performance test on the 7.3 liter V8 gasoline, 7.3 liter V8 propane units by Bluebird and the Vision Bus, as well as the competitive units running 8.8 liter gas and diesel.
Awesome. Well, the reason why we care so much about acceleration testing is not just to have fun on the racetrack today, but there's a lot of situations that a school bus driver would be in where acceleration is really important. That could be merging onto a highway, crossing traffic, where you need to get that large vehicle moving quickly. So we're going to get out on the track and let's see what our results are today. Let's get to it. Okay, race one. We're going propane versus propane. Tom, what do we have over in this lane?
We've got the 7.3 liter Godzilla V8 engine and the Bluebird Vision Bus, powered by Ford and Roush. We're going to go head-to-head against the competition. What do you got?
Okay, over here in this lane, 8.8 liters, so bigger displacement, more torque, 565 versus about 468 over here in this lane. Difference in horsepower, so 270 horsepower over here, 350 horsepower in this lane. Let's see how that horsepower and torque stacks up here on the racetrack.
According to Matt, the Bluebird Godzilla, that's our engine. Matt says our engines are Godzilla, and the International on the right side 15, they no longer produce those.
Awesome. Well, the reason why we care so much about acceleration
we already
testing
saw this.
is not just to have fun on the racetrack today. Okay, race one. We're going propane versus propane. Tom, what do we have over in this lane?
We've got the 7.3 liter Godzilla V8. We're going to go head-to-head against the competition. What do you got?
Okay, over here in this lane, 8.8 liters, so bigger displacement, more torque, 565 versus about 468 over here in this lane. Difference in horsepower, so 270 horsepower over here, 350 horsepower in this lane. Let's see how that horsepower and torque stacks up here on the racetrack.
US 131 Motorsports Park. Adam, what are the results?
All right, so head-to-head, Bluebird propane versus competitor 8.8 liter propane. Quarter mile, a full 4 seconds faster for the Bluebird propane.
That's impressive.
It is impressive. When you look at quarter mile, mile per hour, Bluebird propane, 56 miles an hour. Competitor's bus, about 51 miles an hour. So quarter mile, that's about the length of a highway on-ramp. So if I was driving a bus, I would like to be getting up to highway speeds by the time I got to the end of the on-ramp. So Bluebird bus performed great. I think we're going to run a few more races.
Absolutely. Let's get out of heat two.
Try it on the hill.
Okay, Ryan, heat number 2 coming up. What do we have on the competitive side?
Okay, so now we're switching gears. We've got a diesel-powered bus. This one's rated at 240 horsepower, 520 foot-pounds of torque. What are we going head-to-head with?
We've got our propane-powered Vision with the 7.3 liter V8 Godzilla engine. We're ready to go.
Okay, let's run it down the track.
Oh, there goes Dale.
Hey Adam, heat number 2's in the books. How do we do? All right, heat number 2, competitor diesel engine versus the Bluebird 7.3 liter propane. The results in a quarter mile, a full 7 miles per hour faster at the end of the quarter mile, 55 miles an hour versus 48. Again, not the highway speed. When you look at the time, a full 6 seconds better, the propane bus versus the diesel bus. So really excellent performance from the propane bus. So we decided to have a little fun with this one since the margin of victory was so great. Tom, you want to tell us what the second race that we ran?
Yeah, we took the diesel bus, we gave it a little bit of a head start. We actually ran it out about 3 bus lengths. We ran the same quarter mile strip again. Speed was very comparable, about 7 miles per hour faster. But on the time, the propane bus, in spite of the disadvantage, 2.3 seconds faster. Really.
All right, well, I think a clear winner on that one. On to the next race.
Now we're heading into race number 3. Now we're going to keep the diesel in place over here on the left-hand lane. Once again, that is 240 horsepower, 520 foot-pounds of torque. But we're flipping things around on the Bluebird side of the track. Tom, what do we have over here?
On the Bluebird side, we brought in the gasoline car. Same horsepower and torque rating as the propane version at 350 horsepower and 468 foot-pounds of torque, just powered by gasoline.
Okay, well let's run around the track and see if we get similar or different results.
Ready? Let's go.
Heat number 3's in the books. How are we doing results? All right, heat number 3 in the books. We've got the diesel bus versus the Bluebird gasoline 7.3 liter V8. Very similar results to the propane bus versus the diesel bus. We've got a 5-second margin of victory at a mile per hour of about 58 versus 49. So still well below highway speeds for the diesel. The gasoline bus performed very well.
Gasoline and propane very comparable to that 7 mile per hour delta.
Yeah, that's the beauty of really gas and propane. Very similar performance. You don't really sacrifice anything with propane.
That's great. Let's get on to the next heat.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, Adam, you just wrapped up our 4th heat. How do we do?
Well, very similar to other results we've seen today. So we've got 57 miles per hour versus 51 miles per hour. So well below highway speed still. The Bluebird division just performed really well in that last race. As far as time goes, we're a full 2 seconds faster with the Bluebird gasoline bus. So very respectable numbers.
Absolutely impressive.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and get the vehicles off the track, and then we'll wrap up and do a conclusion for the whole day.
Let's do it.
It wasn't part of the discussion. All right.